Henryk IX Starszy. Henryk IX Starszy, literally Henry Roman IX the Elder, probably between 1387 and 1392, d. November 1467 in Krosno, was a Duke of Żagań-Głogów during 1397. He was the second son of Henry VIII the Sparrow, Duke of Głogów, by his wife Katharina, daughter of Duke Władysław of Opole. Life. After his father's death in 1397, the Dowager Duchess Katharina moved with their children to Kożuchów, who, together with Zielona Góra, was her dower. Between 1397 and 1401 the official custody of the princes and the regency of the duchy was held by Duke Rupert I of Legnica. This was a difficult task, since Henryk VIII leave his lands in a difficult financial situation. Rupert I gradually began the payment of Henryk VIII's creditors and improved the general situation of the duchy. The regent showed special assistance to the main cities of the duchy, Głogów, Krosno Odrzańskie and Szprotawa. After his older brother Jan I attained his majority in 1401, he assumed the guardianship of his younger brothers and assumed the full government of the duchy. In 1403 the brothers received the lands of their uncle Henry VIII the Older after the resignation of his widow Hedwig of Legnica, who ruled them as her dower since 1393. In 1412 was made the formal division of the duchy. Henry Roman IX, together with his brothers Henry X Rumpold and Wenceslaus, obtained the Duchy of Głogów, who included half of Głogów, Świebodzin, Krosno Odrzańskie and Szprotawa. By 1417 was made a new divisionary treaty, this time in the Duchy of Głogów. Henryk Roman IX and Henryk X Rumpold retained Głogów and Szprotawa, but give to their younger brother Wenceslaus the towns of Świebodzin, Krosno Odrzańskie and Bytnica. Those areas returned to him in 1431 after Wenceslaus's death. Henry Roman IX and Henry X Rumpold ruled jointly, but the tasks of government remained in the hands of Henry Roman IX. Henry X Rumpold remains at the service of the kings of Bohemia and Hungary and the Emperor Sigismund, under whose orders he fought against the Hussites and made diplomatic missions to Denmark, where he died in 1423, shortly before his wedding with a relative of King Eric. Since the death of his brother, Henryk Roman IX ruled the duchy alone. Previously, he received the towns of Kożuchów and Zielona Góra after the death of his mother in 1420. However, this inheritance wasn't count with the approval of his older brother Jan I and led to short-term war between the sons of Henry Roman VIII. The conflict ended successfully by Henry Roman IX, who could retain the towns. The dispute ultimately was decided by the Elector Rudolf Roman III of Saxony, leaving the two princes with his lands intact. According to the contemporary chronicles, Henryk Roman IX was a mild man of a peaceful mindset. In his youth he suggested as Bishop of Wrocław, but he did not accept. During his government were developed the turbulent Hussite wars, which included the Duchy of Silesia. However, he managed to maintain the peace over Głogów. In 1416 Henryk Roman IX was a mediator in a dispute between the sons of Piotr Przemysław I Nosak, Duke of Szczecin. In 1420 took place in Wrocław the Great Congress of Silesian Princes, where Henry Roman IX was also present. The princes paid tribute to Emperor Sigismund. In 1423 Henry Roman IX, together with his brother Jan I and other Silesian princes, took part in the meeting of Pressburg, now Bratislava, where he discussed with the Teutonic Order and the Lusatia cities the further partition of Poland. There was made a special emphasis to waive the politics of King Władysław Roman II Jagiella of Poland, who promoted the Hussite insurgents. The cooperation with the House of Luxembourg allowed Henryk Roman IX to obtain parts of the inheritance of his maternal grandfather Władysław of Opole. However, the volatility of economic and the subordination of Dukes Bernard of Niedmalen-Falkenberg and Balko Roman IV of Opole ultimately convinced the emperor on 16 September 1435 to confirm the faith. In the first months of 1425, began to organize the Hussite retaliatory expedition to Silesia. The reaction of the Silesian rulers was different. Some of them passed by on the Hussites like Balko V the Hussite, while others fight against them, like Henry Roman IX. The entry of the Hussite troops to the Duchy Głogów caused great destruction. Henry Roman IX sought the assistance of the Polish King Władysław Roman II Jagala. In return for the king's protection against the Hussites, he named him his heir, but these efforts have produced no major results. In 1431, during the subsequent Hussite invasion, Henryk Roman IX was able to repel them. In 1433, together with troops from Poland and the Teutonic Order, he took part in the war against the Hussites. During the next war against Bohemia during 1438–1439, Henryk Roman IX supported Albert V of Habsburg, and on 3 December 1438 he paid homage to him. At the beginning of the following year, he managed to repel the Greater Poland troops at the crossings of the Odra River despite his much smaller forces. The reputation of Henryk Roman IX in Silesia was enormous. For example, in September 1444 the Duke was a mediator in the conflict between the Dukes of Olsztyk. 2 years later, in 1446, he could take control over Lubin, when his rulers, the Dukes Jan I and Henryk X, pledged this land to him. On 19 April 1458 Henry Roman IX acceded to preside the association of Silesian princes and cities against George of Podrady, the new king of Bohemia. However, after the general recognition of the new Bohemian ruler the next year, he finally paid homage to him in Świdnica. This step was followed by the formal investiture to King George of the Duchy of Opole on 26 October 1463. However, in view of the strong resistance of both Dukes Henry Roman IX and Nicholas I, the king finally decided to make a compromise on 29 April 1464, under which he waived all his claims over Opole in return for 14,000 pieces of gold. During his reign, Głogów was the witness of important events. On 17 May 1462, took place in the city the meeting between King Casimir Roman IV of Poland and King George of Bohemia. They accorded there that, after Georgie's death, the Bohemian throne could pass to Casimir Roman IV's son. During this important meeting was also discussed the disputes between Poland and the Duchy of Głogów. Any dispute between them was resolved after further congress in Babamost and Bosakowo Paradies. Despite the fruitful cooperation with the Bohemian king, on 23 December Henry Roman IX was excommunicated by the Pope for accepting the nomination of the Polish prince as heir of Bohemia. At the end of his reign, Henryk Roman IX concentrated all his energy in his war against his nephew Jan Roman II the Mad, in order to restore the Duchy of Żagań to his eldest nephew, and Jan Roman II's brother, Balthasar. In the present were little information of the government activities of Henryk Roman IX. However, in Głogów was founded new laws, judicial orders, etc., created by him. During this time, the financial problems continued. Henryk died on 11 November 1467 in Krosno Odrzańskie and was buried in the chapel of the missionaries of Kożuchów. Marriage and issue. By 1432, probably no later than 1423, Henryk Roman IX married with Jadwiga, died by 25 June 1447, 1453, daughter of Conrad Roman III the Old, Duke of Olsztyk. They had 6 children. Zygmunt, born 1431 or 1432, died 24 December 1458. Henryk Roman XI, after 1428, died 22 February 1476. And born probably 1430–1440, died 17 December 1483, married in 1454 Jan Roman II of Rosenberg. A son born before 30 May 1447, died before 11 November 1467. Hedwig, born c. 1450, died by 30 May 1482. Katharina, born before 1454, died after 14 November 1497. In a will written in 1447, he left the duchy to his 3 sons as co-rulers. In the testament was an entry who expressed the wish that the duchy was not divided for 20 years. His heirs weren't allowed to consult foreign advisors. This was to ensure the unify of Glogau. However, the early death of two of his sons prevented the danger of further divisions, and all the duchy of Glogau passed to his only surviving son, Henry Roman XI, the last male member of his line. Footnotes: